Hey guys, Frank Flegg here from Ethical Property Partners, the place where you can make annual returns on your properties on a monthly basis. Now this morning I'm headed over to a property that I haven't actually been to in over 4 years. Bought it about 5 years ago. In that time we've developed it from its commercial building, developed it into 2 6-bedroom HMOs. We've leased it to a charity on an FRI lease. We're responsible for the exterior, but they're internally responsible for everything. Fantastic deal, profitable every single month for us, except that in the back of the property, or perhaps I should say in addition to that, that's the cake, that's the deal. If you've heard me talk about the cake in a property deal, the rear of the property actually has outbuildings, quite substantial outbuilding, and the charity are now ready to extend their lease. They want more accommodation. We didn't really want to develop and then not have an end use, but now we can develop in order to let. And so this morning I'm hoping that I can introduce you to my architect, to my builder, and to the charity who are the end user tenant, as well as showing you around the development on day one. As I say, I've not been there for years. Remember the outside, I can't remember the inside of the buildings at all. We'll talk you through what we're thinking to do, what we need to look into, and then as we go through the development every few weeks, I'll keep you updated every few months on where we've got to, and so you can actually see the development from nuts to soup, as the Americans say, from the start of the meal all the way through to the end. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. I'll keep you posted. So this is me outside the front of the building, and as I say, there's a front door here which actually enters the 2 dwellings, which are each 6-bed HMOs basically. Now interestingly, on this property we sought, it was a commercial property, we sought planning permission to convert it into 2 single dwellings, so 2 houses, and then under permitted development it's converted it into 2 6-bedroom HMO. That was the deal. It's been making great money over the last few years for us, but now we're in a position where we want to do the development, convert the rear. So I'll take you around the rear and we'll see that in a minute. So this is Nigel, my trusty builder. How many years have we been working together, Nigel?
Far too many to remember, Frank. Far too many.
I reckon it's at least 10 years that Nigel and I have been working together. We now do open book development, which is we agree a rate for Nigel's time and then all the expenses just go through. This is our most recent development, which I'm going to take you for a walk round in a minute. It is very, very beat up. Nigel, I've said, can come on here. What's your initial thoughts on this, Nigel? Nice job, horrible job? It looks horrible, it looks awful. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a lovely job actually, Frank. It's a good sound property, and we can certainly do something good with it.
So I'll show you around in a minute, guys, but the main factors that make Nigel say that, it's solid construction, which gives us loads of cost savings in terms of separations, etc. The roof is solid. I don't know if you can see the roof in there. It's absolutely straight. It's in really good condition, even though this has been sat empty for, when did you do the other half? 5 years ago?
Oh, yeah, probably a bit further than that.
So Nigel actually did the other half of this building about 5 years ago, and it's just been sat empty. It's bone dry inside, which is amazing. So I'll show you around in a minute, and offered Nigel to share his contact details with you, and as with all good builders, he's too busy to take any more work. So thank you for fitting me in, Nigel.
That's all right, Frank.
Cheers.
No problem, thank you.
So this is Alan McGowan's second appearance on our YouTube channel, because Alan does all of my work. Alan from Alan McGowan Architects. So Alan, what's your first take? You did actually the first development about 5 years ago for us. What's your first take on this conversion?
It's a cracking building, considering it's a remarkably good condition. The roof dry as a bone, straight as anything. The main structure, no cracks in the brickwork. The main structure is solid, quite a lot of very deep timbers and steel. Really good condition. So got no worries, if you like, about having hidden structural problems.
Brilliant, brilliant. How old do you think it is roughly?
I think it's probably about 1910, so it's probably 1950, 100 years
wow,
old.
100 years old. And to look at it, guys, it's beat up. I'll show you inside in a minute. It's really, really, to a layperson, it looks like a massive project. But the reason we bring the experts around is because they can see through all that. I'm not an expert in development, I'm not an expert in planning, and we'll talk about planning in a second. I'm not an expert in building like Nigel is, but they can see through all dirt and mess, and can actually, this is a solid project. Yeah. In terms of planning, now this was a commercial building originally. How much difficulty do you see, and what kind of process are we looking at?
Well, I'm going to have to go and look into the details of it, because the government changed all the planning use classes last year. So business classes used to be class A, which was shops, B was businesses. Well, last year they did away with all class A and class B and put them all in class E, which is there's a wide variety of users are all now in class E. The interesting thing from our point of view, of course, is that with class E comes certain permitted development rights, which is going to be very interesting to look at what the exact details are. So the government did all this freeing up, if you like, of a lot of the planning use classes. Only came in September 21. Even talking to quite a few planning departments, they're still not aware of it.
That makes me laugh.
So I need to go back into the use classes. Cracking, project, because it's just such a solid, scheme, really.
That means, guys, if we're right, and that's what Alan will go away and check, it's possible that we can convert what looks like a shed, but actually has planning permission for commercial use, into a potentially 6 lettable rooms, a 6-bedroom HMO potentially, without having to apply for planning permission, just by providing what's called a prior notification to the council. This is what we're about to do, and we can get cracking, which is amazing to think you can do all that with no planning permission. And that's the power, guys. I didn't know that, Nigel didn't know that, but Alan knew that. That's the benefit of having your professionals around. And this is the first time we've come to this property. We're actually planning this in for, well, Nigel will tell me how many months time we can put it in for, but we're probably 3-4 months off starting this development. But that's okay, because we've already monetized the property. And we talk, and I'll talk about this in a minute, we talk about layers of icing on the cake. This is just a bonus. The investment itself already pays for itself. So thank you, Alan, and thank you, Nigel, for your help today. And guys, I'll keep you updated as we go through the project. Hey guys, so I'm going to walk you around the rear part of this building now and do you a bit of a walkthrough to give you our initial thoughts. I've come here with my builder, I've met the charity who are the tenant of this property, and also my architect here this morning. So I'm going to give you an insight into my process for doing a development from day one, and then the idea is we'll check in over the months to show you how we're getting on with it. So this is the rear of this building. It was originally a two that was split into a retail unit below and offices above. We converted that into 2 6-bed HMOs, and then you can see the rear outbuildings. There's a ground floor bungalow kind of dwelling and 2-story buildings to the rear. These were used for storage, but that actually we think will convert into a bedroom terraced house and a 3-bedroom house, along with a 1-bedroom bungalow there. So quite a substantial amount of accommodation. And as we walk here towards this rear building, you can see that's the kitchen of the existing dwelling. These buildings are really solidly constructed. Now this is a bathroom there, plumbed bathroom already that we can make use of. Solid brick buildings. These are about 100 years old, we reckon. Really solid rafters. You've got steels in place. This was used for the retail premises, and if you look here, the width of that wall is a whole brick. It's a length of a brick, so solid walls. And the beauty of that is, in order to insulate these in line with building regulations, all we need to do is dot and dab onto the wall here plasterboard. So we can do thermal plasterboard onto there, no further battening required, no further brickwork required. Nice and high. We'll probably utilise these beams and make them look really nice and put ceilings on there. Got nice windows as well as lots of natural light coming through those, of course. So this we think we can split into 3 habitable rooms. Now that could be a lounge and a kitchen. It could be 2 bedrooms and a kitchen, as utilising obviously the... So this is through the doorway into the 2-story building. You can actually see all the racking here that they use for their retail purposes. Again, really solid construction. There's already a staircase in place, which helps massively for construction. We've got some clearing out to do here. There's the original for sale board there, sold by the commercial agents. But again, really solid joists. Got solid floor there. The walls are straight, and a lot of internal space. So we're going to have lovely, bright, high ceiling rooms here. So that's the top of the stairs that I've just come up. Apologies if this video is a bit lumpy. My gimbal has failed on me today, so I'm having to do this handheld, so it's a bit up and down. Lovely big window there coming into this upstairs room. We've got ceilings, obviously we'll insulate fully, but there's that ironwork you can see there. Obviously all this racking etc will come out, but those more ironwork, more woodwork there, we will expose all that and make that a feature. We'll probably move these staircases, we'll probably move this staircase and put it in a more utility friendly place. We'll move that, but as you come through here you can just see it's an amazing space. It's dry, this has not been touched for 5 years. The roof is absolutely solid, the walls are solid, the floor here is rock solid. So really great building to just, as I said, downstairs dot and dab the walls and insulate the roof. The electrics, can you see those old brown switches there? Oh my goodness, been a long time since I've seen those. So obviously we'll rewire completely. We need to run utilities out to these buildings as well as connect the soil up. Now we think there's soil plumbing. That's one of the hardest things to plumb. You can always pump water uphill, but pumping soil uphill is a lot more expensive and more troublesome. So yeah, really pleased with the infrastructure that's already, luck of the draw. We would have bought this if it was a shed, and actually it's a really solid, useful space. And you can see we're going to utilize all these windows, so we're going to keep using the existing windows to minimize cost. Also outside there's lovely brick arches over the windows and nice black engineered brick window sills, so we'll use those as well. But you can just see there's a lot of space. So if you think about the number of rooms, you've got one at the end, you've got two more there as we look, one to the right of this staircase and one to the left. So there's, like, this is how I always count houses. So this is Kerry Carter from Conley. Kerry, how long have you had this building here and been housing vulnerable people in it?
This will be our 6th year.
6 years you've been working with ourselves.
That's right.
And what will it mean for your organisation and how many people you can house to have this second part of the building all done up for yourselves?
Yeah, it'll make a massive difference, and obviously we're really busy at the moment. Well, we've always been busy, but having extra accommodation will make a real difference to us and to the building itself, because it's it's got massive potential.
But doesn't look that great at the moment. Exactly. And just to tell the guys that probably haven't heard of Comley, what do you do for your clients? Where have they come from? How do you help?
A large amount of our clients they can self-refer, but from local authority or from other agencies that refer to us. We help with housing management. We can give other support, and we do signpost as well, but mainly it's about housing management and how to manage a tenancy and hopefully move on in a positive way.
Brilliant. So the people coming to you would generally struggle to hold down a normal tenancy when they arrive, but the idea is you work with them and they develop those skills so that they can move into their own accommodation later on. Fantastic, and a massive part of our Stepping Stones project. So thanks, Kerry. Hopefully we'll have these extra rooms available for you sooner rather than later.
Yeah, super. Looking forward to it.